Hello, chosen ones. Hello, my YouTube family. This is Times with the Narcissist Explained. This is your host, Aaron, here. Tonight, I have a pretty interesting topic that I want to discuss. Hopefully, it will encourage you all to keep going. Um, and I'm also going to share my life experience of things that I've dealt with growing up, going through school, and things like that. We're going to talk about let them underestimate you, chosen ones. Let them underestimate you, right? I can't tell you how many times I've been laughed at because people thought that, I was a failure because I made some mistakes. You know how it feels when your parents don't really support you when you're going through a rough patch in your life or a lot of things don't make sense when you're smoking and drinking a lot because you're trying to find a way to cope with the reality and the cards that we've been dealt, right? It's not easy. And then you have people that try to kick you while you're down because they want to underestimate you and want you to underestimate yourself, not believing in yourself, want you to doubt your own capabilities, right? Let me tell y'all a quick story. When I was younger and I was in high school, I think I was in the 10th grade, I didn't take my work seriously. And so when I went up in front of the class, when the teacher asked, "Did y'all study last night?" it clearly showed that I didn't study because when it was my turn to explain certain information, I just said I had no idea. And the class laughed at me. One girl was in tears because, they thought I was just this guy that just didn't give a damn, and I was just this, the dunce with the little, how the dunce cap look with the little cone on the head. So people in the class was laughing at me. I had a failing grade in class. Then a project came up, right? A project came up in the class. This class subject was called American History. It was an American history course that I was taking in high school, and a project came up. I was like probably had an F in the class. So I was like, you know what? I didn't like the thought of them laughing at me, thinking I was just this dumb person. Like I didn't have intelligence, that I didn't have the willpower and the skill to, you know, get a good grade in the class. Because throughout my life growing up, I was the only one in my immediate family that was tech savvy. And I don't know if it was a millennial thing, but anything electrical, they wanted me to fix. Anything related to the internet, they wanted me to handle it in some kind of way. Still to this day, they treat me like that. But back to the story. A project came up, and I did a PowerPoint on pretty much it's these Mexican horsemen called guachos. Now I can't really explain what they really did, but the project was so good I had a passing grade by the end of the course. Nobody was laughing at me then, right? So why am I telling you all this? You all don't let people underestimate you or let them think that they underestimate you or let them laugh at you. Let them mock you because you're going through a rough time in your life, because that rough time is only temporary. Because when you pull yourself together, when you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, that's what people, some people like to say, you shock a lot of people. My life is a testament of so many setbacks and so many people doubting me. I can tell you one time I was in middle school, had a failing grade in middle school, you know, and they said that if I don't pass the seventh grade, I'm going to stay back, again. Well, to make a long story short, I stayed back in the seventh grade once, and I was going to stay back in the seventh grade again, but I had to sit down in the principal's office because you know how chosen ones do. We go through our life journey, and we always have to sit down in some higher up's office for some crap that we done got ourselves in trouble for. At least that's how it was for me. If it happened to you, Explain your testimony in the comments. I love to read stuff like that. So I'm sitting down in the principal office in middle school. This is like, me redoing seventh grade for the second time. Well, no, the first time. And the principal was like, okay, your grades aren't great, and clearly we can keep you back in the seventh grade for the second time. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forward you to the eighth grade, and you have to maintain a passing grade for the first semester in eighth grade. So it kind of awoken something in me, like because the people there, they believed in me. Some of the people there believed in me, right? And when you have island parents, they'll fuss at you. Oh, you need to get your shit together and blah 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 blah. So I had to buckle down. I had to get my act right. I had to show them that I'm capable of staying in eighth grade. And that's exactly what I did. Every assignment the teachers gave me, I did. I passed eighth grade. Passing is passing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not a really academic type of person. I'm a hands-on type of person. I like to learn as I work, right? And so I passed eighth grade, and from that point forward, it made me realize that you know I'm capable of passing this stuff. Before, I was just playing around. I wasn't taking it seriously. I had issues. I was going through spiritual warfare with negative voices in my head all the time telling me to kill myself. I remember one time I was young. I was telling myself, like, man, I'm going to kill myself, watch. And then one day in the house, I had, like, I think it was a heart attack. I had like a mini heart attack, and the pain in my chest felt so heavy. I mean, it was so painful. And I'm sitting there hunched over the wall, like grabbing my chest. I was like, what is that? You know? And then years later, I realized I spoke that over myself, you know? And so that's the kind of stuff I was dealing with at home. I was dealing with a lot of stressful situations, being the scapegoat, having a tyrannical father. It was so many different things I had to face growing up, you know, and I overcame so many odds, so many storms I had to overcome, even when people underestimated me, even when, my mother thought I was just a pothead, and thought I was just going to be this smoker for the rest of my life. And this is why I come on this channel and I tell you all my story, and I tell you all why it's important to stay sober, why it's important to have a routine, why it's important to do semen retention, why it's important to believe in yourself, to do positive affirmations and things like that. Because when you lived a life of negative uh, outcomes, simply because the cards were stacked against you, and you made some bad choices based on those cards stacked against you, you didn't have the proper guidance. That's not something easy to bounce back from at all. But I'm a living testament of these kind of things. And I hope my testimony helps you all, to let you all know that let those people underestimate you. I know what you're capable of. You've overcome so many things time and time again. And I still to this day have my own personal battles through all the trauma and things that I've been through. But I'm still grateful that I'm able to use it to help others to get through where they need to go. All right. So listen, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right. Bye bye now.